We met at a track meet. We met at a track meet. I was running 400 at Simplot Games, indoor track meet, and I finished the race, and the indoor track is raised, obviously, and Tara literally walks onto the track at this meet and goes, I don't know why, but I just feel like I need to give you a hug. It's 100% real. Gives me a hug. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. And then,
so it's all Tara, basically, is what we're getting from this.
She shot her shot.
She shot her shot.
Absolutely shot her shot.
That was me too, baby. I told my husband, come on, this is where it's at.
How do we actually engage with white guys? Because guess what, girl? They're not going to approach you like, men of color will.
Yeah, and then we now know, 8 days later, reached out to me on Twitter, slid into my DMs.
So you met in person at the track meet, and then she wrote you on social media.
She put those hours in there. She worked hard for this.
Right? They're going to be a little bit more reserved. I always hear, oh my God, they're staring at me.
A good woman always knows what she wants, and she's always
right. She did. I moved to California, the Olympic Training Center, going into 2017 into college, and she was in LA, and she would drive from LA to Chula Vista to come spend the day with me, spend time with me. We would train together, and that's how
it started.
The thing about white guys is that you're going to have to start the conversation.
There I was, looking sexy as a muff.
Yeah, it's true. And I seen this guy, and then so I went to the bar, I asked for a pen, I put my number on a napkin, and I gave it to him.
You're editing the story, but you said nice words, and hot and stuff like that. And like I said, I already knew you're standing there looking good.
Oh, so I had the napkin, and I told you, like, you're so effing hot.
Yeah.
I was a little bit tipsy, y'all.
Yeah.
So I had the napkin, and I said, you're so effing hot, and I gave it to you.
Yeah, and you're making a little bit of noise. And then about how hot I was, you had, people already knew, but you'd let them know.
Tara and Hunter Woodhall are a popular couple who really gained notoriety in the Paris 2024 Olympics. Tara took home a gold medal, and although her husband Hunter was unable to take home any medals in this particular competition, he has taken home silver and bronze medals in previous competitions. But overall, they seem like a really happy couple. They seem like they have a lot of fun together, and I don't have anything negative to say about them. I wish them the best, and I wish they do well. But what shocked me about this particular interview, the striking similarity between his story and the story of Jonathan Owens.
She messaged me, this was like a Tuesday, and we texting back and forth, and then we hung out Friday, man. And she came through down to Houston. She lived in the suburbs, so she had to drive about 45 minutes to me. Then the rest is history, man. So
you was really the catch in.
I always say the men the catch, man. I always say we the catch, man.
Yeah, so she really booked you.
She did, though.
Is what you're saying.
Yet, how different was the feedback?
Because that man literally said the same exact story. That woman did the same exact thing Simone Biles did. She slid in his DMs. She drove to see him. She put pressure on that white man. But y'all said that's a love story. That's cute. That's Disney fairy tale. And she drove farther than Simone Biles did. That's crazy.
What's the most concerning to me about this comparison is how the narrative changes based upon the race of the man. Tara goes after her now white husband, and this is a strong, confident, sexy woman who goes for what she wants, and she's celebrated. Simone Biles goes after her black husband, and she's desperate. She's a pygmy. She's been shamed from left to right. They are constantly undermining her husband despite his own success. But they both did the same thing. They both initiated. They both slid into the DMs. They both drove. My point is, why is it okay and celebrated and a woman is confident and a woman is self-assured or there's no criticism if a black woman does it for a white man, but then if a black woman does it for a black man, that she's desperate? And we even saw this with the dating advice that was mentioned earlier from the black dating coach. He says, hey, if you want to be with a white man, you're gonna have to initiate. Why is that not considered desperate? My personal opinion is because of unaddressed, unprocessed, and unhealed internalized self-hatred. At the end of the day, I think there are double standards that exist anytime we see a black woman going out of her way to pursue a white man, because many of us still place a higher premium on whiteness, whether or not we admit it or not. And I'm not saying that every interracial relationship is the result of a self-hating Black person and a, crazy domineering white person. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that there are certainly double standards. But that's just my opinion. So I decided to ask some of my followers, and I want to get some of their feedback because I can't say I really have the answer to this, but I'm curious if you guys might be able to help me unpack this mystery. So let's see what people have to say. Okay, so in the question I asked, advising Black women to initiate and pursue relationships with white men isn't considered desperate. Why is that? Okay, so looking at some of the comments, let's see what's the most relevant. So this comment reads, it's more than desperate, especially when you consider that nobody tells non-Black women to take the first step just to date white men. Is this dating advice given to other races of women? I can't say that I've seen it, but I also don't go around looking at dating coaches who speak to Asian women or Latinas or Hispanics, or I don't really listen to other dating coaches like that. So I can't say I speak from a place of authority or expertise, but I will say I haven't seen it. This one, why are Black women so quick to listen to homosexuals? It is interesting to see a trend of homosexual men giving dating advice to heterosexual women. That is very interesting. Like me, as a heterosexual woman, I wouldn't think to try to give advice or talk about the experiences of the LGBTQ plus community. That's not my experience. So I think it's interesting that the reverse can be true. And there tends to be no issue. My thought around that is I just think some women are personally just more comfortable with listening to gay men. Black women in particular, like there's something about having the gay friend or the gay best friend that feels very comforting in some way. So I don't know if it's just that non-sexual attention or affection that women desire from men at some point. I don't know. It's just interesting. This one, Malarkey, shout out to Malarkey. It says Black women have to take the masculine role and chase the white male. Wow. So Malarkey's just like, what? This is another one here. It says a gay man giving advice to heterosexual women is beyond mental illness. So going back to what I said before, I don't fully understand that trend, to be perfectly honest. I do find it particularly strange given you guys have different orientations and therefore different experiences. Now, I've heard the logic be, oh, well, although the man might be gay, he's still a man, so he's going to understand the way men think. But to my understanding, gay men and heterosexual men tend to think quite differently. So I don't know if that's really a fair comparison. And of course, we're speaking in generalities. That's something to take into consideration. Date who you like, be with who you love. Don't pursue someone because of their ethnicity or hatred of your own. Yeah, I agree. The fact that gay dudes are telling Black women how to pull straight white guys is crazy. He gives amazing advice. My sister got married and has her dream life after listening to him. Marry white men. And so here's someone who actually agrees with what he's saying. The first one in my comments, ultimately we got a lot of feedback. I wasn't able to get through all the comments, but y'all got a pretty good sense. I mean, really, as I mentioned before, I think it's, my analysis is that it comes down to the double standards, comes down to an inability for some of us from the community to still really sit with the impacts of a long legacy of colonization, victimization, and racism, and how that has, in some of us, created a high premium on whiteness, to the fact to where we treat our own differently. We sometimes treat our own worse, and we will put our best foot forward when it comes to interacting with other races, even within the context of relationships. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down in the comment section. Also, be sure to join my channel membership, where you can get access to more exclusive content and join my members only live. Also, find me on Patreon, where I conduct my chats with my husband. We do book reviews. We also do chats on other topics that I'm just not quite comfortable sharing on YouTube, and offer other exclusive content. So those are two different additional ways that you can connect with me, get access to exclusive content, and ultimately support the kind of content and content creators that you like to see. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Okay, bye.